If someone had told me that after 20 years of marriage, my life would fall apart because of a single message on my wife's phone, I would have laughed. But that night at 11:47 p.m., when her phone lit up on the kitchen counter and a message appeared saying, "I can't stop thinking about last night. I miss you already," my entire world split in two. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 47 years old, a financial consultant, and until that moment, I believed I had a perfect life. My wife, Laura Carter, and I had been married for 20 years. We met in college. She was funny, confident, and beautiful in a way that made every room feel brighter when she entered. Together, we built a comfortable life in a quiet neighborhood. We had two children, Ethan, 17, and Sophie, 14. I worked long hours to provide everything they needed, and I trusted Laura completely. Maybe that was my first mistake. At first, I tried to convince myself the message meant nothing. Maybe it was a friend joking, maybe it was sent by mistake. But curiosity slowly turned into suspicion, and suspicion turned into something far darker. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing things I had ignored for years. Laura suddenly began going to yoga classes 3 or 4 times a week. She guarded her phone like it held classified secrets. She started dressing differently and wearing perfume she hadn't touched in years. One night, she told me she was going to dinner with her friend Melissa, but something in her tone felt off. So I did something I never thought I would do. I followed her. She didn't go to Melissa's house. She drove to a small restaurant downtown. I parked across the street and waited. 10 minutes later, a man walked up to her and hugged her like they had known each other forever. Then they kissed. Not a mistake. Not a brief moment. A long, familiar kiss. My hands shook on the steering wheel. 20 years of memories flashed through my mind like a broken film reel. Our wedding day, the births of our children, family vacations, birthdays. Everything suddenly felt like a lie. But what hurt even more came later. That man wasn't the only one. Over the next month, I quietly investigated. Phone records, emails, social media, piece by piece, I uncovered the truth. Laura had been cheating for years, not with one man, but several. Some affairs were brief, others lasted months. One man, a wealthy real estate developer named Marcus Hill, had been in her life for nearly a year. And the worst part was still to come. She was planning to divorce me and take half of everything I had built. That was the moment something inside me changed. I didn't scream. I didn't confront her. I didn't even let her know I was aware. Instead, I began preparing. I hired the best divorce lawyer in the city. Then I brought in a private investigator to document everything. Photos, videos, hotel receipts, messages. Within 3 weeks, I had overwhelming proof, but I wasn't finished. Laura believed she was smarter than me. She thought I was just the overworked husband who never noticed anything. So I played my role perfectly. I smiled, I cooked dinner, I asked about her yoga classes. All the while, my lawyer was quietly securing assets, protecting accounts, and preparing the divorce filing. The final piece of my revenge came during our 20th wedding anniversary party. Laura insisted on hosting a big celebration. Friends, family, neighbors, almost 50 people filled our home. She wore a stunning red dress and gave a speech about love, loyalty, and how proud she was of our marriage. I almost laughed. When she finished, the room applauded. Then I stood up. "I prepared something too," I said. I connected my laptop to the TV in the living room. Laura smiled, likely expecting a slideshow of memories. Instead, the screen filled with images. Laura kissing Marcus outside a hotel, Laura holding hands with another man in a parking lot, screenshots of messages, hotel bookings, dates, proof. The room went silent. Laura's face turned pale. What is this?" she whispered. "This," I said calmly, "is the truth." Her friends stared in shock. Her sister looked like she might faint. My children stood frozen, unable to process what they were seeing. Laura began crying, trying to explain, insisting it wasn't what it looked like. But the evidence kept playing. After 20 unbearable minutes, I closed the laptop. "I already filed for divorce this morning," I told her. "And with all this evidence, you're not getting a cent of what I built." She collapsed into a chair, completely shattered. For the first time in years, she looked at me like she didn't recognize the man standing in front of her. And maybe she didn't, because the man who trusted her for 20 years was gone. And the man who finally saw the truth walked out of that house feeling freer than he had in decades.